Hey, it's Mike. Thanks for tuning back in. Today's Friday. My son is home for a month from college, so we're excited. We have a full house again. Today is day 30 of my video streak here on YouTube. I've been doing this for a month every single day. So thank you. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it. And today I have stuff from new friend of the channel, Dan, who is from Northern Maine. He has been, I think he just discovered my channel within the last few weeks. Dedicated viewer, and he sent me a care package, which was awesome. So first of all, he knows that I'm a Yaz collector. Sent me a Yaz that I didn't already have. Kellogg's from 83, I think this is. 82. So awesome. Reggie Smith, another Red Sox player. And then he sent me he knows I'm a big autograph guy, so he sent me a Gary DiSarcina autographed with that beautiful blue Sharpie. A Mike Bordick autograph, and we're going to have a little Mike Bordick story time here as well from Dan. Bordick is a Mainer, went to University of Maine. So I actually have some Bordick rookie autographs, and Dan offered me Bordick rookie autograph. I already had it, so I politely declined. Thank you, Dan, for all of this and for offering that as well. And a Chris Carpenter autograph. These were all doubles in Dan's collection. So pretty cool stuff. I love it. And he sent me this really nice letter too. I'm not going to read the letter here, but yes, thank you, Dan. Much appreciated. And Dan told me this great story about a game he went to. You may recognize the date. It was September 21st, 1998. I'm going to pause on my face just like that and acknowledge that I made a mistake here, not Dan. The date was September 26th. It was a few days after the 21st when Cal Ripken ended his streak. So we will carry on as if I never made this mistake. I think it was the game that Ryan Miner replaced Cal Ripken at third base. Now Mike Bordick was playing shortstop, and Bordick, of course, everybody remembers Ryan Miner. That's the name people remember. But Bordick actually replaced Ripken at shortstop earlier in the 90s, and they moved, I don't remember what year, 96, 94, and they moved Cal over to third base. And then Miner replaced Cal at the end of the streak at third base. At least that's how my memory, I should have researched it. But so Dan and his wife went to this game. His employer at the time sent him there with some of the sales reps from his company, and they sat in, what they weren't aware of is that they were sitting in an Orioles area or box, and with other wives and family members of Orioles players. One of the reps at his company was Mike Bordick's half-brother. And when he got to his seat, they were greeted by Mike Bordick Sr., Bordick's dad, and his wife, Mike Bordick's mom. Dan's wife sat next to Ryan Miner's wife, who told Dan's wife that the Hall of Fame had requested Miner's cleats to be included in the Cal Ripken display there, which is really cool. It's really fun stuff. And Dan sent me this cool collage of photos of memories of the game along with cards. We'll talk a little bit more about that as we go through this story. And so Dan sat with Mike Bordick's dad. His dad gave him a ball signed by Mike Bordick. So really cool stuff. What an experience. And he didn't even know this was going to happen. Like, when I go to this Celtics game, it would be awesome to be just like, oh yeah, by the way, you're seated with, I don't know, Jason Tatum's son Deuce. I don't know. It's just weird trying to imagine an experience like this. So then it keeps going. The Bordicks invite Dan and his wife out to dinner with them. And of course they're going to say yes to that. But then Bordick comes up to the plate and gets beamed in the head by Brett Saberhagen. And normally I would do some fact checking. You know, anytime I'm going to put something out there, I want to do some fact checking on it. But I didn't bother on this one. These are details that Dan clearly remembers, and I love it. So he gets beaned by Brett Saberhagen, goes down. Mike Bordick Sr., the father, jumps up. Oh no. Bordick is surrounded at the home plate by medical staff, and the father rushes down to make sure he's okay. Father comes back a little while later and says he's okay, but he won't be going to dinner with them because he was checked for a concussion and they're making sure that he's okay. They go to Bordick's father's room for drinks after to discuss dinner plans, and then they end up going to a bar that the players frequent, and they end up seeing Eddie Murray, Elrod Hendricks, who was a coach. He played for the Orioles in the 70s, I think late 60s, all the way through the 70s, and then he became a coach for the Orioles. Eric Davis, Jesse Orozco, and Arthur Rhodes. They saw all these guys, and they all signed a postcard for Dan. Dan told Eric Davis that his son was named after him, so what an amazing opportunity. And they all signed this postcard in Dan's son's name. Eric Davis bought them all a round of drinks, and Mike Bordick ended up showing up later on and talked to Dan and his wife for a long time, all through the evening. It's a really cool story. I love these stories. I want to tell more of these. If you have fun stories that are tangentially related to baseball cards, shoot them to me via email, thejunkwaxhero@gmail.com. I appreciate it. So here you've got the postcard in the middle, surrounded by cards of certain guys he met that night, just some cool mementos. Yeah, just a really awesome story for Dan, and I'm glad he trusted me to share the story. Hope I did it justice. Anyway, I have a lot of stuff planned. I started this streak thinking that I would get through a lot of my backlog of ideas for content, and I've actually added a lot more to it. So there's no shortage of content ideas. So a little sneak preview. I've been looking into Shohei Ohtani's kanji autograph, and I'll have a video on that soon. I'm also getting my first baseball card hobby box ever. Like, well, since I got back into the hobby. First one since the early 90s anyway. So I'm going to open that. It's well, you'll see when I get it. There's a lot. I have a lot of ideas. A lot of you have given me great ideas. If you have other ideas, shoot them to me in comments. What should I do a video on? Preferably stories, vintage stuff, what's happening in the hobby. Let me know in comments. I appreciate you guys watching. I hope you have a great weekend.